So I've got all my new parts for the steering box to fix it. So this is all the old broken parts. There's the new steering shaft. That's the new rotor. A little bit different setup. You've got one pin, which is like these pins that broke off. This one here had one on each side. That one has one pin and a ball bearing on the other side. So that will sit in there like that, and then that goes in there. Probably be a little bit easier to assemble it in the actual gearbox itself, because these have shims, and I guess you'd have to do it by trial and error, whereas that must be set on one side and you just shim this side here to get it right. So that's all the bearings and stuff that go on the column up top. And the rubber seal that goes on the dash. And a couple of gaskets. So I should be right to put it all back together. So I'm just fitting the rotor and the shaft. And just in case anyone else here has to do this, if you put your tyres full lock to the right, it brings the rotor up here quite high, and then you put the ball bearing in there, you stick it in there with grease, and then you can turn this here, you can put it in and turn it and get it on the ball bearing. Otherwise, if it's down too deep, you've got no room to move this around. But when you're full lock to the right, it's right up the top, you've got a bit of room to work. So I've got that done now. So one step at a time. So I've got the main steering box back together. So you can see it's all working as it should. So it really wasn't that hard to do. It was mainly just getting the ball bearing in between the lower rocker shaft, and then after that you just bolt this on with the shim behind it, and it comes up quite well. It's still a little bit loose here, but I've got to put that plate on, and that holds these two bearing bushes. But yeah, the steering shaft, that wasn't hard to do either. Just once you work out what goes where, it's really quite straightforward. So I've got the steering box all back together. See that it's all working as it should. It's quite tight now, a lot tighter than it was. Take a lot of wear out changing of parts. The only problems I've got is can't get that there right across, so I might buy another felt seal and put there just to stop the dust getting in, but it is very, very tight. And yeah, just having a few problems with the wiring. I don't think it likes being moved, so I have to sort that out, and then I should be able to get it back on working. So I've got the Massey all fixed up now. Just had a problem with the electrics, but the key was buggered, so I've put a new key on it and a new light switch. The light switch, when you change it, the old one I had to break this black top off, because you can't, it seems to have a little pin in there that seizes, but when you get a new one, there's a little hole there, you just stick a pin through and you push a little pin, and then you can pop the top off. If anyone's ever wondering how they work, that's how. So now that it's all finished, I'll take it for a drive and show you it working.